So this is the first webinar for this year, 2023. And I always like to start my analysis with the dollar index. So on the dollar index, for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the first 7th week that the dollar index has been dropping. So there is a small chance that we might see a spike down, but there is also a possibility that we have already bottomed, because on the monthly time frame we have a similar structure from October, November, 3, 4, 5, almost 6, 7 months since we were at the top at 115, and the price where we are at currently is a previous broken resistance. So most likely this one is the testing of the broken resistance. So on the daily time frame, we might I think we are the market is showing signs of being bullish, although these is from 101.4 to the previous bottom, previous support 100.8, almost 60 pips. So there is a possibility that we might see a spike down here before we start rising, but again we might also have started the bull run. So for the dollar index, we most likely will be seeing a bullish dollar. And to confirm this analysis on the dollar, of course, we can look at the stock market. So for the S&P 500, it has been rising, yes, for the last 1 month or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th week. But what is very concerning is the volume. The volume has been dropping, yet the market has been rising. Remember, on the volume of the stock market it is true volume, because the stock market is controlled by the exchanges. You know, the New York Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange. But for the forex market, we don't have a central exchange. That is why most of the time volume for the currencies is it's a proxy for volume. But for the stock market, we have the real volume. So if the market is rising and we have these investors joining in the move, we should see the volume rising with the market. So what this is revealing is that this uptrend might not be a genuine move. If you look back here, you have a previous support here, and this support is being retested now as the resistance. So most likely, when the stock market starts to fall, of course, the dollar index will be rising. For the Dow Jones, yeah, you can see the price, the previous zones around here. So all these support has now been converted into resistance. For the NASDAQ, where we are already seeing signs of bearish momentum. So the last week's candle closed as a hanging man. So this week, the candle for this week, if it closes below the last week but one candle around here, then we'll have a shooting an evening star pattern. Yeah. Same case to gold. So when I said that there is a chance that the dollar index might spike down to around 100.8, then that spike might cause a retest of these highs on the gold, which if it doesn't happen, well, again we might see a small pullback on the DXY might also cause this spike, although the pullback on the DXY might not necessarily tag the previous support at 100.8. So I am of the idea that when the DXY starts to rise, then we might see the gold falling. Although for gold now it's a long-term sell. So my advice for gold is to wait for this spike, because you can never be too sure with the volatility of the gold. Same case to Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin, we have already broken the 3 weeks high. You can see that we have 3 doji patterns for the last 3 weeks, and I think at around 33,000, that will be a perfect place to sell Bitcoin for the long term. When the DXY gains momentum, and I am also of the opinion that we might break even this low and go way down for Bitcoin. So I think 2023 will be a bearish year for Bitcoin, but the Ethereum pattern is more clear, because you can see here we have not yet broken the resistance, but for Bitcoin, this resistance here had been already been broken. So this one might be a fake out, but the clear structure is on Ethereum. And on Ethereum, This is the point at which when the market tags this support here from January 2022, then we might expect to start falling. Yeah. So the USD JPY, this one is a replica of the DXY. So the whole of almost last year from March, this move from March to November, this was an impulse move. You also the momentum here, and of course, if this was an impulse, the next thing we have is a correction, then another impulse. Yeah. So anytime the USD dollar yen pair should be rising and breaking these highs from November. Same case to the Euro USD. You can see we have still some room here for more upside. But again, it might not happen. So the most revealing pair is a GBPUSD, because this one, it has already tagged the previous resistance here, and we saw a rejection in the form of a shooting star pattern. So it is very likely that we are starting a downward trend on the pound dollar pair. So this is the most clear structure in the market right now. So, and I expect maybe on the breakout here, you can see a pullback, a small pullback. Can add some positions more here, and then down again. So from the last week's candle and on the daily time frame, you can see the trend is already being established. So this is the most decent trade right now. Because the structure here is very clear, and like you can see it has tagged the previous highs, but for the Euro USD, there is a chance that it may still tag the previous highs. Same case with gold. There is a chance that we might still tag these highs. And if we don't, then when we see the trend has been established and we see a pullback and a retest of previous support and resistance, then we might consider entering the trade. So the pound dollar is a good trade. So for the stock market, again, if we look at individual stocks, you can see like Tesla is already showing signs of bearishness. Apple, yeah, the last week candle was a high volume doji. We opened with a gap for this week. And this one is a very resilient stock, because most of the stocks, you can see the highest point, the highest price for Apple was around 182, and the lowest it went was around 125. That is about, it lost about a quarter of the value. But at the same time, when you look at stocks like Amazon, they lost more than half of their value, because the highs are at 190, 189, down to almost 80. See, that's more than half of the value of the stock. Yeah. Same case with the Meta. Highs were at 380, and the lows, the most recent lows, were at 91. So that was almost 3/4 of the stock was lost. But Apple is a very resilient one. So you can see for Microsoft, we are at a previous high. So chances are we might start falling from the current price. For Meta, we are almost there. Netflix, Google. Yeah, so you can see Google is also at this previous high from February 2023, and at the same time, this is a previous support. So we might start falling from that point. So the key thing to look at is the dollar index. So any breakout, we are going to see a bullish trend. But again, as you can see, there is a room for a spike. This one might be a very quick spike, and then we start rising. At the same time, when we see that spike, then we might see gold tagging these highs. So this is a long-term trade for those who are willing to hold for long. So there is a chance that we might steal the gold. We might see gold tagging the previous highs at 2075 before we start falling. So I'll be looking at the dollar for more price action. As more price action is forming, and I'll update the charts.